Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Sisters of Legacy. I'm going to go ahead and run our intro. We'll be right back. Hello. Welcome back. Yeah, I know it seemed like it was going really long, so I just cut it off. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining us. Okay, so welcome, ladies. It has been seemed like it's been a minute, but I think we only missed 1 week, right? One?
Maybe two.
I don't know. Seemed like it's been a minute. So welcome, ladies. To all our viewers, of course, my name is Samantha. We have Katrina Taylor
Good evening.
and Shanetta McNair.
Hey.
Yes, and we are the Sisters of Legacy. Oh, Richard, hey, what time is it where you at? I thought you wasn't up this late. Oh, but good to see you, Richard. Thanks for joining us. So, being that Richard's here, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all my Facebook story, and hopefully, Facebook won't block the broadcast too. So this morning on the guys' show, they was having a very interesting conversation. Just kind of like it went into politics, and they got to talking about nuclear weapons and something. And so I made a comment. I'm not gonna say all the words because I'm already in enough Facebook trouble. Oh, it's 1:08 in the morning?
Ooh.
Wow. Richard is in the UK.
Wow.
So my comment in line with the whole nuclear weapons thing, I said, right, so when we get angry at one another, we're just gonna BLOW up everything. That was my comment. But they were talking about nuclear weapons. Well, Facebook said, no, ma'am, you will not make those kinds of comments. And they kicked me out of the broadcast and then proceeded to block me for 29 days. That's what the thing said. I guess that's their version of 30 days. So for 29 days, I cannot go live from Facebook. I cannot post any comments on Facebook. None of that. And then they had a list of previous comments I had made. And most of them were during BOL. And it's kind of just in line with whatever the topic is. But Facebook does not like my comments. So
Wow.
they gave me the boot.
You're in punishment for 29 days.
Right. So anybody watching this, if it's your birthday, happy birthday, because I will not be telling you on Facebook.
I'm glad this didn't happen in September.
You know what? Facebook September would have been a better month. So yeah, Facebook is not my friend. So tonight, I'm not sure what the actual topic that was put up was. Thanks, Richard. Naughty, really? But so I wanted to talk about, I think I sent you guys the clips. One of them, I believe, was on, Kim Burrell when she was on Tamron. And then I sent you the clip of T.I. when he was making comments in reference to something that had happened with his son like a day or two before online. And just from the T.I. standpoint, he felt like all the people that he had been there for and done things for and people that called him friends and such didn't come to his defense, didn't make any posts, speak out about the behavior. And he felt like him and his family had been attacked. Same thing with Kim Burrell. Now I sent you guys 2 clips. One clip was her on Tamron. The second clip was her actually up, I believe, at somebody's church, making some interesting comments. When she was on the talk show, she also talked about how she felt her gospel industry friends didn't stand with her, didn't come to her aid, and she kind of felt more or less abandoned by her friends during those times. Now, for me, I watched the comments, a lot of the comments that she's made in the last couple of years, especially the last one that I just sent, and I felt her comments were completely out of order. My personal feelings. So I wanted to talk about, like, as a friend, how far do I go with you? Like, I know everybody talk about, oh, that's my ride or die, you know, you my day one. How far should a friend go with you? What did Richard say? Plenty of chickens and cowards. Okay, that's one opinion. But am I a chicken when I don't stand? What? Yes. I'm sorry, technical difficulties. Am am I wrong if I don't stand with you when I don't agree with you? Like, if I don't agree with the behavior, is there some kind of unspoken friend rule that I should stand with you anyway? Like, if I disagree with what you've done, is it better that I'm just quiet? Or would you, as a friend, rather me take a stand with you, regardless of if I agree with you or not? Like, I'm trying to figure out how is friendship supposed to work? Because if you're wrong and I don't agree, do I have the freedom to not agree with you and we still be friends?
For me, yes, you have that freedom to disagree with me and we can still be friends. Even when it's something that I stand firmly and strongly on. If you view what I'm saying as wrong, I think if we're truly friends, we should be able to have a conversation where you can say to me, I don't really see it the way you see it. This is how I see it. I hear you when you say how you see it. And we just have 2 opposite opinions.
Right.
I think the only time that becomes a conflict is when it's things that cause us to be in, I guess, dissent that matter to, like, deeply in the soul.
Okay.
So if I tell you I'm a Christian and you tell me that you worship Satan, we can't be friends. We're going in 2 totally different directions, and that's not going to be a cohesive friendship. That's a matter of the soul. But if I tell you that I think you were wrong for how you approached something, I think you were wrong for how you addressed a situation, I feel like this situation is not okay. As a friend, and you say to me, well, I did this because of this, and this is how I feel about it. We just have 2 different of opinions. When I think about the situation with people not standing up for Kim Burrell and for the gospel community not supporting her as to what I think she was referring to, I think that that's unfair because these people have careers that they're not trying to see go down the drain if your situation goes left. I'm not going to stand up for you when I'm trying to build something over here and you're tearing down people. You're being insulting to people. I can't associate myself with you right now when you're being insulting. But what I liked about the clip with Tamron Hall was that she was trying to tear down someone and she began to name names. And when she started to do that, Tamron was like, wait a minute, that's my friend. And I'm not going to let you, because that's not what we came here for today.
Right.
So, like, let's stop here because we didn't come here for that. I think that Tamron took the stand that a friend should take when someone is backstabbing one of your friends.
Right.
But I feel like Kim was taking a turn in that moment that would have probably been more detrimental if Tamron hadn't stopped her than what it already, or more damaging than what it already was. Kim, in my opinion, Kim Burrell needs you talked about your timeout. Kim Burrell needs a timeout. Because she does say things and then comes back and apologizes for the things that she says and the way that they came off. And then she'll say, I didn't mean it that way. And then she'll say, but I meant what I said. And it kind of like, it's hard for people to support you when you're doing all of that back and forth. You're here, then you're here, then you're here. You're like, well, I'm sorry that you took it that way, but I meant what I said. Well, I can't support that because like you're pretty much telling somebody like, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but I meant to hurt your feelings. So, you know, your feelings hurt, a hit dog will holler, whatever. Like you have no remorse for what you're doing. You don't really feel bad. You're apologizing because your publicist told you that you have to offer an apology, or your attorneys told you need to offer an apology. And it shows when you go to the other clips and you see some of the harsh things that she says. And I think that she's as harsh as she is in so many aspects because I think she feels like she has the platform. Like she's one of those people that's like, I have the mic. I can say what I want to say because I have the mic. And she just lets it all spill out. What's the thing that people say, like the heart of something, it'll just like your heart will speak through your words or something like that.
Out of the heart comes the issues of life.
So I think that because that's like truly what's in her heart, she has some real just rude stuff down deep in her soul, in her heart. And I think it just spills out of her mouth and she really doesn't see anything wrong with it. And then you can't get mad because people don't support you. I'm sorry, but like wrong is wrong. And that was kind of wrong. So I'm not going to support that. I still love you and I can still be your friend, love you, and not support every single word that you're spewing out of your mouth.
Got you. Let me put some of these comments up. So Richard say offline could say more, but online is different. Online have to be careful saying, yeah, I guess. Sam could disagree with me and we still be friends. Right? He said she needs Jesus. Lee said her apologies are without accountability, which is really not an apology at all. Yeah. Right. And you know, like you said, she was on the road there in the interview. And I felt like that moment, although Tamron Hall did reel her back in, I think that moment is when she should have said, this is the behavior that people don't want to support. Like, because I wonder, and not making excuses for her, you know, some people are just so accustomed to being able to say what they want, like they don't see anything wrong with it. I wonder if she realizes in the moment when she's doing it, like this behavior, like this is it. This is what you do, you know, that's unsavory to people. I wonder. I mean, she could, but she does it all the time. So it kind of makes me wonder. And Trina, what do you say?
On that situation, on that, whole thing with her, I feel like people who support her kind of were brought up in that way. Like, oh, we were rebuked, open rebuke, and we were set down. And that's the way, we were brought up that way to, people are just too sensitive these days. And I'm like, that's abusive. You know what I mean? For people to talk to you that way and just say whatever you want to say across the pulpit, it's one thing, to address an issue, but it's also the way you address it. You don't come across, at people that way. And, for people who say, that's the way we were brought up and people are too sensitive. Well, maybe you should, be responsible for how people receive what you're saying. You need to be more responsible with how you put it out, that they will be open to receive what you have to say. So maybe the content, maybe when she was talking about, people's hygiene or whatever and speaking to them about their hygiene, sure, that's an issue that should be addressed. That's not the way to address it, especially not across, like she said. And she said the correct way to do it, but then she wasn't doing it that way. Go to the person in private and say, excuse me, blah, 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 and with love. But there was no love. There was no love in her presentation. And I've seen her address other things that same way with no love in the presentation. And how we, again, I'm always saying, how do we represent God that way? We can't represent God to other people that way because they're going to walls. Because I know that would be me. I'm like, you supposed to? No, you can't. You can't present God to people that way and expect them to embrace, the salvation that we're offering.
Right.
The two don't go together. It's never going to happen.
Right.
So you have to be responsible. You have to be wise with your soul winning. And that's within the church as well. Wise with how you address people so that you don't turn them away from the God you're trying to present. It doesn't even make sense.
Right. You can't build people up and tear them down at the same time.
Right.
Listen, I will say, I am one a lot to say, people are sensitive. But I also feel like there's a way to say certain things. And I feel like, especially coming from different platforms, like it's kind of time and place too.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel like there are some sensitivities, but I also feel like things should be handled better a lot of times than what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you get what you put out.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, did you all see? I think it maybe was like a month ago. There was a thing with Dante Bowe. He's with Maverick City, the singer. And apparently there was a video, and he was in the video, I guess, singing questionable lyrics, and he was on a party bus or whatever. And so many people were, went straight to trying to, cancel him or whatever the case may be. What bothered me was that Maverick City put out a statement, like trying to distance themselves from him. And that bothered me so much because I'm like, wait a minute. The whole cancel culture thing really bothers me because regardless of what, I'm not going to say regardless of what, but in this situation, he was singing lyrics to a song, whatever the case may be. That seemed like something where you call brother into the office, young man, you represent your praise and worship leader. You need to do better. The judgment call, a lapse in judgment type situation. You're putting out a statement, trying to distance yourself. We don't want to. And I'm like, wait a minute. What happened to restore such a one in the spirit of me? The Galatians 6. Well, how are we skipping all that, going straight to cancel? So being a friend, I understand sometimes you need to wait and see the facts, especially with social media. Right. People posting this and that. Wait and see the facts before you come out on what's up. But you're immediately canceling people. Like, that's too much. You're doing too much.
I think that if you're a true friend of a person, or you have true relationship, even using the term friend might be a loose term. But if you have true relationship with the person and something comes out and it's showing this person in a negative light or in a light that's not so, productive or towards working towards the mission of what you all represent, I think that a conversation is more appropriate, like a quick conversation. Like, I'm going to call you. If I see somebody put something out about Sam and Trina and something strange that y'all have participated in, some kind of video or something like that, it's gonna be a phone call. I'm not gonna they were on a wild trip in New York, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, let me distance myself from Sisters of Legacy. I'm like, hey, so guys, I saw this video. And I'm a little concerned with the optics from the end in which I
Right.
saw it. Can we have a conversation about this before I'm like, yeah, I have nothing to do with them. I don't, I don't associate with them any longer, and I will not be participating in Sister of Legacy anymore because, that does not represent Christ and does not represent no, that's not what I should be doing. I should be calling you saying, so I know I missed something. And that will probably be my conversation is that video had to be cut in the wrong way. So you want to tell me what really happened? So that I have an understanding, so that when people ask me, I can be like, well, y'all don't know the whole story. So since you don't know the whole story, I suggest you wait for them to say what it is that they feel like they need to say about it, and then we can talk and go from there. Versus,
But I
like,
think I will say with the Maverick City thing, I think they did that, like their response, because they're afraid of being canceled. They didn't want. I feel like that's why, it was kind of like save yourself type deal.
See, but that's what I'm talking about. If they're his friends and brothers in Christ, shouldn't they be trying to show him love? Shouldn't that be the example that they put out? Not save ourselves. Let's be an example of the love of Christ. I don't know. Like I just couldn't agree with that.
I mean, like I said, I think,
and I agree that that's what they were trying to do.
Right, but with them, you also got to take into consideration, like they have managers, they have whatever. Maverick City is made up of a group of people that I'm sure is managed and whatever. So even though the statement was put out from Maverick City, there's a good chance that it really didn't come from one of the people that he considered to be friends. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, I think like kind of that's why I kind of want to have this discussion, because like I said, how far does the friendship go? Is it really supposed to be like, we in this, are we even friends? Or do we just sing in Maverick City together? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are we friends? Or is it when we go on tour, we stuck with each other? You know what I mean? Like, I think in a lot of times there's really a lot of dynamics. Like, Kim Burrell, she felt some kind of way toward the gospel community. All those people are your friends. Or do you just see them, at functions or at different churches? Like I say, Trina's my friend. I can come knock on your door and be, you know what I'm saying? And come to your house and to me, like, that's friendship. Like I can come to Shanetta's house. That's friendship. But like people that I may have done something for or been nice to, like, are those friends? Like, I think sometimes the title, like, are those your friends? Like she was upset, but like all those people her friends. Like T.I. was upset, about people not coming to his son's rescue when his son was kind of out of pocket.
I was going to say his son be all over the place though.
Right, he was, but he's still a kid. So that's half an excuse for him. He's still a kid, and the person that got out of pocket too, he was way left with it. Because he like almost a 60-year-old man. Mm-hmm. And this little boy is a kid. Like, so I get the sentiment, but like, are these your friends? Do you really want your friends making threats to people online? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that you really want? Like, because I may not say it online, but Shanetta, listen, if something happened and she called me, she know I'm gonna come. I'm gonna do my best to get there. But like, do I need to show up online? Like, is that really about friendship? You know what I'm saying? Or is this just about the optics of it?
Right. I think if somebody is, for me, like truly and honestly, like if I'm scrolling, on social media or something, and I see somebody slamming somebody that I consider to be a true friend, the natural part, especially when I know the truth about the situation. So I know that you're innocent in the situation, or I know that, you like, I stand on your side. Like, I actually agree with you. and I'm seeing somebody that, you know, is slamming you, I might say something, like, just depending on how much is rising up in me in that moment. I
Right.
might have a comeback. I might have a comment. I might be like, hey, I'm gonna need you to back up off of this. Like, I'm gonna need you to chill out a little bit because, like, you don't even know what's really going on, and you might want to mind your business. Like, I may come with a comment that strong. But let's say I'm doing that same scroll. I know you done messed up. I'm very clear that you've messed up. And I've told you as a friend, like, I think you messed up on this one. And I see that same comment, I might look at it and be like, hey, like, you should be more like, my tone is going to be a little bit different if I respond to it. And it may be something more like, you know, hey, you don't really know the whole story. Everybody has situations that come up in their lives, like, you know, sweep around your own door before you come trying to sweep around hers. Like, you know, mind your business again. Mind your business. But I think that's as a true friend. If I'm really your friend, I'm probably going to have something to say, but the strength in which I say it might be a little different based on whether or not I agree with you in the situation and based on what the comment is that the other person has. But I'm not obligated to that as a friend to say anything. I could keep scrolling past both, you know, either comment, whether I agree or disagree with you. And I don't think it makes me less than a friend because I didn't say something in a public platform if, as a friend, I truly came to you and had a conversation with you. And I think that's what shows the true value of the friendship is, did I reach out to you? Because whether you were right or wrong, did I reach out to you to say, hey, I'm praying for you. You're wrong in this situation. I'm praying for you. I'm praying with you. And let me know if you need something. Or did I reach out to a friend and say, you know what, you were right in this situation. I support you 100%. I'm praying for you still. Like, what did I do to you personally or with you personally as a friend? So the gospel community, everybody in the gospel community is not your friend. Y'all do the same type of job because y'all get paid for this. So y'all do the same type of job. So they're not all your friends. So everybody is not going to stand up for you and or agree with you, especially when you're borderline pushing a harsh agenda.
That she was way past borderline.
And yes. But I mean, like, the last clip that you sent, I was just like, the whole time I was listening. And now, mind you, the clip that's been the most recent situation, I was just like, oh, Kim, throughout her whole. And then when she did the interview with Tamron, I was like, oh, Kim.
Okay.
And then when I seen that old clip, I'm like, they need to, like, somebody just needs to pull her coattail and just be like, hey, girl, come here. We got to talk. But I'm not sure if it would help because she's so with everything she has to say. No, like, it's like, I just, like, literally, I'm just like, oh, I can't. Exactly. That's how I feel. Like, I'm like, oh, Kim, like, why would you? No.
So let's see. Richard said cancel culture needs to be reined back in. I'm sorry, only in extreme cases, but only then. But people should not ruin their careers and family life. Listen, all I can say is, you know, unfortunately, when you get to a level where you're always visible, there is a chance that anything you do or say could make you fall from grace as quick as you got up there.
Yeah.
That is the sad truth. Maybe it shouldn't be that way, but that is the reality. Like, when you're in the public view, people are fickle. They love you on Monday and hate you on Tuesday. Yeah. That has been the same since the dawn of time. And the only thing that's different now is the whole world gets to watch you fall.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, before, when people have missteps or people fell, they just kind of were gone from public view. And you're like, oh, I wonder what happened to whatever. Or then you see one of those, where are they now show. One of those. But now, because everything is so much more visible, everybody's watching. And because we are such, I'm going to say a terrible culture, we thrive on that. Like for real, Facebook is jumping. The next scandal is like crazy. And I will admit sometimes like as sad as it is, like for me, it's entertainment. So sometimes when I see, oh, such happened, oh yeah, now I'm Googling. I want to follow the story and see what happened. And I'm like, you are part of the problem, Sam. And every time I tell myself, you got to do better. Get your life together, girl. This is bad. And it's not even like I don't take enjoyment in somebody's downfall or misery. It's just I want to know. I try to find out as much of the facts as possible. Mm-hmm. Like I want to know, how did you get here? Like I got it. This happened, but how did you go from singing and dancing, to the stripper pole or whatever you were doing? Like, so that's always kind of my thought process. But us as a culture, we scrolling, we clicking, that is what we all do. And I feel like that's right. I'm bringing everybody in this. I can't be wrong along. We are part of the problem.
Right.
See how I did that? See how I mapped that out?
And it's just like when the Bible set forth how we're supposed to go to each other when something goes wrng. Right. Jesus, it's in red. He said way back then with these wise words. These wise words. He said, go to your brother, just you and him, you two people. If they don't receive it, then you take another two people. And then if not, then now we're going straight from the situation to worldwide broadcasting. We done skipped like 3 steps. Like that's why we can't get stuff resolved. We just straight to the internet, and now thousands and thousands of people instead of Jesus said, go one-on-one to your brother and see if y'all can work it out first.
Right. And I feel like and along with what Trina is saying, though, even if I were in Kim's shoes or in her shoes, if she felt like somebody was not being a support, even with T.I., and I don't know that they didn't do this, if you felt like a friend was not being a friend to you in your rough time, in your tough situation, I need you to go to that friend. Instead of trying to call them out in all these places, go to the friend and say, hey, I don't feel like you were being a good friend to me, and I thought we were better than that. So your friend can tell you, hey, I didn't agree with you. And I don't feel put myself out there like that to get slammed with, like, no use in both of us being down here. I don't know, like whatever it is I need to say, but come to me as a friend and say, it hurt my feelings that when I was being drugged out here, for something that I said or did, that I didn't have your support. Like, why didn't you support me? So that I can tell you, I didn't think you needed support, or, whatever my reason is for why I didn't support you, like give me a chance to even say that back to you before you go on a national television show and then try to call my name out, not knowing that the TV hosts know me too.
Right.
That part.
Right.
But I think, and then too, I feel like, as much as a responsibility you feel that I have to you as a friend, or I feel that you have to me as a friend, I feel like I have a responsibility to you, because when I am out here fast and free with my lips, I also have to be in a place where when you call, like, Sam, you tripping, I need to be able to hear and receive that. Hi, Mother Norris, how are you tonight? I have to be able to receive that. So, you can't put all the responsibility on other people for your behavior, because, even if I come to you and say, that was a little harsh, are you in the place where you can receive that? And then, as far as friends, like, I wonder if they were even friends, because I remember when they were on together, Sunday Best.
Yes.
In that episode with the guy, and he said, Kimberell, I ain't never liked you. And he was saying, and Yolanda was talking to him, and he was like, oh, Yolanda, I've always loved you, you whatever. And she was really nice to her, really nice to him and talking to him and whatever. She was kind of like, just ignore her, like don't talk to her. Just, kind of talk to me. Like, even with Yolanda's take on it, like she didn't care. Like, that Yolanda was like, no, they're not right. Just kind of ignore. Her attitude was like, whatever. Like, I already decided, like it didn't slow her down one bit. So it makes me think, like, are you friends? And are you the friend that can hear? Because don't wait for me to stand up for you, but at the same time, when I speak to you, like when I'm trying to hold you accountable, you don't want to hear me. You know what I'm saying? Like my voice has to work both ways. It has to work for you and kind of against you at the same time. Like you have to be able to hear, yeah, that wasn't a good move. Like if you say we friends, like you have to be able, to kind of receive that. Yeah. And Tina, I totally agree with you. We do miss steps. We miss steps and we don't want to follow the steps. We jump right from you have offended me to you ain't no good. You got the devil in you. I'm protecting my peace. I'm out. Like, and whatever offense you came up in your head, you don't want to talk about it. I can't even come to you. Never mind you coming to me. I can't even come to you and say, hey, something seems a little off. Can we talk? Like people don't even want to do that no more. They go straight from offense to cut off. And then they on Facebook, so I ain't got no friends but Jesus. Like, and I see it all the time. Like I have one Facebook friend, and I know Anthony is gonna know exactly who I'm talking about. I promise every other week, like with the subbing post, like, oh, I ain't got nobody. That's why I did me and my boo and our kids, and we straight. We don't need nobody. Can't depend on people. It's like every other week. And I'm like, dang, don't you ever? That's why you don't have nobody. Even if I was trying to be your friend and I see these Facebook posts,
I ain't trying to get sub next week.
Right. From a friend offense to complete cutoff. Right. We don't want to reconcile. We don't want to talk about anything. And some things are just a misunderstanding. Yeah. Everything that I say is not directed to you. It's not meant to offend you. 9 times out of 10, I probably wasn't even acknowledging you when I was saying it. But because you got offended, now I'm cut off and now I ain't saved. I don't know Jesus. Like I'm a terrible person. You don't know how Anthony's married to me. Like it goes so far. And like, as I always say, that leads to the breakdown in our communities. These are where, we don't have the villages and we don't have community anymore. I said, right, I see the post and I don't want to be the next offender, right? It's like I'd be signing up to be the next on your line. And it's crazy. Like nobody, I think this morning the guys were talking on the show, maybe they asked this morning, one of the mornings, and they said, as an adult, when's the last time you made a friend? And I think for the show, they was like, yeah, y'all, like, y'all are friends I made. I mean, and like, to be honest, like, it would be Shanetta, like, like the last time I made a friend. And I get it. Like, as an adult, the point was, as an adult, it's harder, or that's a perception, it's harder to make friends. And I think the older you get, it's like your list of I don't want tos is really long. Right. Like, I truly believe that. Because even sometimes myself, I have to remind myself, Sam, okay, that's enough. Because the list, you be like, yeah, I don't want to do that again. No, I don't want to deal with that again. And we all have our list. And they just get longer and longer and longer. Like the longer you live, it's like, oh yeah. Oh, I didn't have that. No way. Let me put that down.
Right. Like, not doing that again. Add
Right.
that to the list.
But everything, I don't know. I think just like it's amazing. You know, we think in our lives like we have a path, we have a destiny, we have a purpose. Why don't we ever assume like that person was meant to, I don't know, reject you? That person was meant, you know, to turn up their nose at you because then look what you did. You know, they turned up their nose at you and you went and, I don't know, dropped 25 pounds and dyed your hair and whatever you did. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't we ever accept the not so good things in our lives as a part of our destiny as well?
Purposeful items. Yeah. Somebody told me once that everybody that comes into your life either comes in for a season, a reason, or a lifetime.
Right.
And I mean, there are, you know, reason people. They come in to teach you something, a lesson, and if you don't get it, somebody just like them is coming again. You don't catch that lesson the first time, it's coming back around again. And
Listen, my mom used to tell me that growing up. I was like, why do I keep running into the same dude? Like, it's like he just got a different face. It's the same guy. Oh, why? What am I doing wrong? What's wrong? It's got to be something wrong with me because I'm attracted the wrong. And she was saying like, well, my mom used to always tell me, Sam, you don't gotta date everybody. just because you meet them, you know, you don't have to date them. Maybe there was another purpose and you missing that because you trying to get you a boyfriend. Now, of course, you know, she may have been partially right, but you know, she was always trying to steer me away from that. But I realized like on top of that, there was stuff that I was missing.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the same person, I was doing the same thing over and over again. It's like, yeah, this is on you. Like you keep following the same pattern. It's like I had the dumb playbook and I was, you know, going through every dumb play with every new player.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, you're sure to get the same outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. And then I think about, well, I will say with T.I., he did come back. Of course, after he made his video and I guess people started seeing it or whatever, like his friends or whatever, some of them did respond and put up, you know, put up videos, not so much in support of his son's bad behavior, but kind of like taking the approach, you know, that I took. Like, he's still a kid, you know, you didn't have to over-engage with the kid. And then T.I. did come back and he made another video, you know, clearing up, like, you know, there were people that reached out. And I'm like, everybody don't really sit on Facebook either, though. I mean, there's a lot of people that do, but there's a lot of people, you know, that don't.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't expect people to come to the rescue of your children when they're making bad choices. And that, I think that's kind of like, I don't know all the details to that situation, but what I do know is that his son is in a season of making bad choices.
Right.
And I hope it's just a season and that, you know, he'll grow up and mature and that it won't be detrimental for him before he gets to that point of maturing. But he's in a season of just making bad choices. And I can't expect you, if I'm like, Queenie is out here and I use her as an example because she know, like, you know, I can use her. Queenie or one of the other kids is out here just wilding out and just doing whatever. And every 2 days they in some kind of trouble on social media. You might call me and check on me and see how I am and see like, hey, you need anything? You need me to help you? You know, like, you need me to bail her out? Like, what's the deal? Like, what's going on? But I can't expect you to keep coming to the rescue of this same child that keeps doing the same stuff and provoking people in the same way. Because that child is not Queenie, T.I.'s child. He is like one of those rich kids that want to be hood and he's just out here being so disrespectful. And not that everybody should respond to that, because of course, if there's somebody fully grown, older than his parents, responding and having a back and forth with him, like, you're too grown for that. You knew
Right.
better. So, but yeah, like, I can't keep expecting you to come to the rescue or expect my friends to speak up in a moment where my child is just wrong and my child is just out here just doing way too much, and we need to put him on Facebook or social media punishment too, because, like, sir, you need to be silenced. Like, you got to learn how to be quiet. And maybe just don't say all the things you're thinking. And that's the problem with a lot of young people, is that they say everything that they're thinking, and nobody has taught them that all the thoughts in your head do not have to be words. They don't have to get posted on social media. Be quiet. Just think the thoughts and walk on like the rest of us. Like, stop saying this stuff out loud. And somebody might need to tell Kim Burrell the same thing. Like, stop saying everything you think. Like, just don't give us all your thoughts. We don't want them.
I totally agree. I will say, you know, yeah, it is, I guess in some instances it could be a tough spot, but I have to say, like, unless somebody is just, I don't know, I try to stay away from the Facebook commenting. Like, you know, even with my siblings, because I got some, and, you know, we've had moments on Facebook where they were going back and forth in the comments. And I'm the one, I'm going to call you, like, stop responding. You know, like, you don't have to have a comeback.
Right.
Take the comment down and block it. Like, why would you spend this much energy? Because you're like, hold on. Like,
right.
Yeah. I don't have, you know, like, I'm the one, like, okay, enough.
Yeah.
You know, like, I got your back, but I don't need to have it on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, that's just, first of all, it's just some comments. Like, laugh out loud, right? Stop saying everything you think, right? Like, if you don't like the comments, don't look at them. You cannot read them. You can even turn off the comments on your post.
Mhm.
Like, you can remove your like, except for people that are on your friend list, be able to see or comment on your page. Like, I feel like there's so many avenues that we can take. But if you're looking for me to champion for you on Facebook, other than a happy birthday or, oh, you cute, maybe a, you know, a little silly comment.
Right.
Yeah. I just think, like, you know, that stuff is just to be seen. You know, a lot of that stuff isn't even real, because you see that same person in real life, and they're not going, all that Facebook stuff go right out the window, all the social media stuff. You know, like, so for me, like, I think that's kind of outside the scope of friendship.
Mhm.
Like, I want to be friends, but if that includes me coming to your rescue on Facebook, like, yeah, I don't really see that being a sign of friendship. And I also feel like, just like everything else, friendship has its limits. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, we friends, I'm not gonna take a bullet for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even gonna put myself in a position where I have to take a bullet for you either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being honest. Like, we friends, and if we together, listen, I'm gonna try to get us both out of there. Like, I'm not gonna be like, go, Shanetta, I'll save you. Like, what? That's outside of the scope of friendship. I mean, I just think, like, you know, if I can't just have your back, and, you know, if I'm in the room, yeah, look, you said, what about Shanetta? Like, you know, those are different things, but I think everything, you know, has limits. Everything has limits, and we can't expect people to just go all willy-nilly for the sake of your ego. Because, you know, he said, unfortunately, social media is real life for, I guess, yeah. Yeah, but I think, like, that's your ego, though. It's your ego that wants to see somebody saying, leave Shanetta alone in the comments. Like,
Right.
because what did that really do? Because they're like, oh, well, I don't like Shanetta. Now I don't like you either. Like, it really didn't accomplish much, like, in my eyes. I don't know. I just think we all bear some responsibility to each other. Yes, to be a good friend, but that's on both sides. Like, me being a good friend to Shanetta, but Shanetta also has to be a good friend to me, and she has to allow me to be a good friend to her. Meaning, when she going left, I have to be able to say that, and we be okay. When I don't agree, I need to be able to say, oh, okay, but I don't agree with that, and we be okay. I think that's a true sign of friendship. Being able to, okay, we don't agree on it, and it's fine. And we move past. Like, nobody's going to agree on everything. Like, that's not friendship. You want a hype man. Like, you don't want a friend.
Right.
You want a cheerleader. Like, that's something totally different. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I think we ought to be mindful of the limits that come with things, and then don't expect people to do something for you that you wouldn't do for them.
Right.
Like that, that also says a lot too, because when's the last time you've gone out on a limb for a friend? So, sometimes you get back that same energy that you put out. You may not get it back in that same in the same way you think or with the same person, but that same energy that you put out with others, you get that back.
Yeah.
So,
I would definitely agree with that. I have I make categories. I put people in, like, in circles and not in circles. You already know I do that. Don't be looking like that. That's what I do. So I have a group of people that when we're planning something, I usually invite them because my husband tells me to. And I mean, I don't know if they're watching or not. I don't know. I don't know if they even care that much.
okay.
But anyway, but I invite them because my husband tells me to. But they're in this subcategory of people that I know are not going to show up. So, like, I do it because, Michael McNair tells me I have to. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to invite them, but I know they're not coming. So, it's whatever. Like, I don't really consider them to be like true friends because they never show up when you need them to, or when you want them to, or when you're doing something to be a part of, like, for years. And I just think that that's like, they might be a friend in one way, but not in the other. Okay. So I think that it's kind of like that due benevolence, basically. So, like, when they have something and they be like, oh, we're inviting you guys to, such and such, so-and-so, we would usually go because that's our way of showing true friendship. We would show up. We would be there for you. And for me, after watching that happen for years and years on out, after a while, I started saying, wait till they invite us again. We ain't going. I'm going to make sure we strategically have something to do.
Not strategically.
That's how they do us. But of course, my husband won't let me be that way. So, sometimes he...
Thank you, Michael McNair.
Out of that place, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna act right. I'm gonna go, I ain't gonna be like, we came to your event, but you'll never come to ours. I'm gonna act right. Listen, the Lord is still working on me. He loves me, and
God knows your heart.
God tell you what I be thinking.
God knows your heart. Is there your person? Listen, thank you guys. Any last thoughts, Trina, before I finish that statement? Thank you guys for joining us. We are on what's today? Thursday at 8 p.m. Yes, it's been a long week. So yes, we are on every week. That's the goal. We miss a few weeks sometimes, but y'all be patient with us. At 8 p.m. If you guys want to donate. So the Brothers of Legacy, which is my husband's show that comes on in the morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. every day. They are doing a Thanksgiving dinner giveaway. I think he's calling it a holiday dinner giveaway. So I don't know where you send the information to. But if you go to his page on Facebook, thebrothersoflegacy.com, I think, you can sign up, or if there's a family that you feel may be in need or could use the extra help, they are selecting some families to donate dinner to. And if you're a person that maybe you want to do a good deed for the holiday season and you want to help donate to a family, you can also go to the same page and put a message and let him know you maybe want to sponsor a family. He'll get back to you and let you know exactly whatever the amount is. I think it's a great idea. Of course, Brothers of Legacy is connected to us, so it's kind of like a joint venture. So anybody that wants to sponsor a family, it would be great. That would allow him to pick extra families to be a blessing to. I believe it's open until October 31st. If you want to donate in terms of helping another family, I'm sure the deadline is longer for that. But go to brothersoflegacy.com. You can go to the website and leave a message. I'm pretty sure of that. So again, until next Thursday when we shall return, be safe and have a good night.